Report says that 73% of millennials are living paycheck to paycheck. So is there anything that can be done to change that? Joining us to talk more about how you can improve your finances is money and business expert Derrick Kinney. Derrick, thanks as always for being back with us today.
My pleasure, Jason. Great to see you as always.
So we're talking about a particular age group here. I think a lot of people outside of that age group can probably identify too. You know, they're living paycheck to paycheck as well. But let's talk about millennials in particular here, because they face some financial obstacles that maybe some other groups don't face. What are those?
Yeah, the bottom line is this is that age group, age 27 to 42. And this is a group that saw a lot of economic problems as they got older. But here's the uniqueness about them. They call it the sandwich generation. They've got parents who many times need help, whether it's time or financial help. At the same time, they might have young kids at home, possibly some about to go into college. So there's that financial squeeze that they've got to take care of parents and kids. They feel the obligation, but at the same time, Jason, and this is the real kicker, they're not doing that well themselves financially. So here they're in a bad spot and they feel guilty about taking care of people older and younger than themselves at the same time.
That's a tough sandwich to be in, especially if you're struggling yourself. So what are some ways here to, juggle, providing for your parents and your kids, especially if you're, struggling just to make ends meet yourself?
Well, I joke a lot about this, that the government will not bail you out for your retirement. They bail out a lot of other things, but your retirement is not going to be one of them. So the bottom line is, as hard of a message as this is for our viewers to hear, you have to take care of yourself first financially. Just like when you're on the airplane, if something ever happens, they say, put your mask on first and then put the person's mask on next to you. The financial mask works the same way. You want to make sure that your house is in order. And what that means then is to have open, candid conversation. For example, if you want to send your son or daughter to college, have the discussion years earlier about here's what we can afford. That way your son or daughter is not caught by surprise and they can gear up to get scholarships and have a game plan of what their part is. Even with mom and dad, as much as you hate to do this, talk about here's what we can do. Let's talk through a strategy that we all agree on. Maybe other siblings step in to provide time and energy and money. The bottom line is open communication can lead to much less problems down the road.
I love what you say there, though. Make sure that you are paying future self before you do anything else, because you've got to take care of yourself as well. If you are living paycheck to paycheck right now, what can you do to change that? I think, a lot of people are going to be listening for this answer, including outside of the millennial age group.
Well, the easy answer that most pundits will say is you've got to cut your spending. You've got to spend less money. The bottom line is, if you ask most millennials right now, they're probably living as cheap as they can. They could probably maybe cut something here or there, but the bottom line is you're not going to save your way to financial success. So you have to ask yourself a very hard question, and that is, if I'm working for someone, how do I position the conversation to ask for more money? Now listen, we know there's job layoffs and job cuts, but companies want to retain quality people. If you can show your company how you can make more money, save more money, grow the business, and know how to have that conversation, you will likely make more money. Or you need to have the discussion about how can I work part-time, get a side hustle, start something of my own to make more money. The bottom line is top-line revenue gives you more control than cost cutting, which ultimately leads to not having the life of any fun that you want.
Yeah, you got to bring in that money for sure. I always love to ask about mistakes because we all make them, and sometimes, they teach us valuable things, but it might be even more valuable to not make them in the first place. So what do you see as the most costly money mistakes that millennials in particular are making?
The bottom line is not being real with your current situation. So many people bury their head in the sand and think, you know what, it's going to get better, things will get better. The bottom line is, if you're not happy as you watch this program right now with your current financial situation, it's probably not going to get better unless you take specific action to improve your financial life. And that would mean in the next 30 days, I'm going to position a value conversation to my boss to ask for more money by adding more value to this company. Or in the next 60 days, I'm going to launch my side hustle. So I know what's at stake. If I don't do this, my son or daughter may not go to college that they want, or I can't provide care for my parents. I want to take action. That's the bottom line. Set a deadline, take action, and then figure it out as you go down that path.
But you have to start taking those steps. Just sitting there and lamenting that it's bad or wanting change to happen doesn't get you there, does it?
It does not. It gets you nowhere fast.
Except frustration. Derrick Kinney, thanks for being with us once again today. His book, if you haven't read it, is Good Money Revolution. Thanks, Derrick.